Performance Improvement Plan, or PIP, is a topic of discussion that comes up in online forums, HR forums, and career forums very frequently. And as career professionals in the corporate world, we might occasionally be faced with such a situation where we are notified of being in a performance improvement plan, or PIP. And it is a pretty formal notification that happens. And there is a way forward. And we are going to talk about what it means. Say you or someone you know or someone close to you or a colleague has been notified of a performance improvement plan. What does it mean? It could have several implications, and there could be several things that led to that. And it all comes down to your boss or your manager or your leader's perception of your performance, your position, your attitude, a need for additional training, maybe punctuality issues, or some other issue, say in your work-life balance, that really impacted the manager's perception of your job, your role. And the manager in the background has engaged the HR and engaged the human resources to come up with a formal documentation around this. So you've been given this notification. So what does this mean? You're notified of a PIP. So what do? First things first, you need to understand why you have been put on the PIP and understand what is required of you in the PIP. So essentially, it is a way for you to take responsibility. And it could include specific targets, specific goals, and resources that could get you out of the PIP. And that is what your current manager or your boss, along with the human resources representative, wants you to think. But all this is intended for you to buy time. In my experience, it's almost certain that you are not going to go back to your old job with the current manager. The only way is to move forward. So let's look at what to do in case you're notified of a PIP. There's absolutely no looking back. It is a legal document. So depending on the country or the region or your province or state you work in, there could be labor laws that come into effect. So consult with a legal professional or a lawyer outside of your organization. Seek legal help. There could be job or benefit associated with this PIP that could be impacted. Make sure you are protected. And while doing that, reflect on the improvement plan. Reflect on where you stand in your career and your life and your way forward. And start applying for jobs outside of your team, outside of your group, outside of your business unit, and preferably outside the organization. Because PIP means it is a black mark on your career, on your professional record in that organization. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not a reflection of you as a person. It is just a reflection of that situation you find yourself in. So start applying for a new job, new role, and move forward. There's absolutely no looking back. Don't dwell on the past. Don't dwell on how you got there. Just think about how you're going to move forward. So let me talk about my experience with PIP and how I move forward. So years ago, I worked for a multinational company in North Carolina. And I was going through a personal situation that was impacting my work-life balance. I was living in America, and my parents, aging parents, were back in India. And I was starting to feel that they were aging, and my father had severe health issues, prostate cancer, and Parkinson's, because of which I had to continue to travel back and forth between North Carolina and India to check on them. And that was starting to impact my work-life balance. My manager noticed that and suggested that I take an FMLA, family medical leave, which is what I did in order to address my personal situation. While doing that, he also put me on a PIP, performance improvement plan, which was not the way to do it, right? There were other tools that he could have used, but it is what he was, a horrible boss. But I'm not going to dwell on that. What it meant is I was on a PIP, and so I was on notice, which meant that I had to address my personal situation and move forward from that organization, which is exactly what I did. I moved back to India, addressed my personal situation, got caregiver for my parents, and got them comfortably settled to move forward, and then resigned from that job while I got a new break with a new multinational company back in India. I moved back to India, relocated, began to take care of my personal situation while working for this new company. So in a sense, that PIP was a notice for me to move forward, not to dwell on how I got there, but to see how I could address my personal situation and move forward. So this is just my personal experience. And as I said earlier, PIP generally is a formal notice that's given to you from your manager. It is not something that you're going to negotiate on. It just gives you time while you continue to improve yourself in that situation. But make sure you are able to find a way forward from that organization, from that team, from that manager, because it's not something that you're going to mend or fix, but use it as a tool for you to move forward.